The type of industry the organization operates within will be a significant impact upon the contents of the employee handbook. There are unique and specific laws, agencies, and guidelines that apply to certain industries that organizations are required to comply with. Several considerations of industry impacts include the following: working in a unionized environment, considering regulations specific to certain industries, and finally, OSHA compliance. An organization's functions and processes are impacted greatly when they operate within a unionized environment. The National Labor Relations Board, or NLRB, gives employees the right to act together to try to improve their pay and working conditions. In a unionized environment, the organization is required to cooperate with the union board in order to negotiate wages, benefits, and workplace conditions within the company. The organization would need to stay aware of and maintain an understanding of the union requirements in any legislation specific to union environments. The organization can create as much risk when they do not comply with the requirements agreed upon within the union. There are certain regulations and requirements that are specific to organizations working in industries. The Department of Labor, or DOL, has developed and commissioned several agencies to oversee certain types of industries, including the following: the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, or OFCCP, which is responsible for protecting workers, protecting diversity, and enforcing the law around complying with non-discrimination against protected classes. Organizations who do business with the federal government, including contractors and subcontractors, are required to comply with OFCCP regulations. The Wage and Hour Division, or WHD, which enforces federal minimum wage, overtime pay, record keeping, and child labor requirements of the FLSA, or Fair Labor Standards Act. The WHD also enforces several other areas and acts, including the Migrant and Seasonal Agriculture Worker Protection Act, the Employee Polygraph Protection Act, the Family and Medical Leave Act, and finally, the wage garnishment provisions of the Consumer Credit Protection Act, the Davis-Bacon Act, and the Service Contract Act. Organizations should further research the details of each act under the Wage and Hour Division to see which apply to their organization. The Bureau of International Labor Affairs, or ILAB, which ensures that workers around the world are treated fairly and are able to share in the benefits of the global economy. Organizations with international workers are required to comply with the ILAB. Mine Safety and Health Administration, or MSHA, which works to prevent death, illness, and injury from mining and promotes safe and healthful workplaces for U.S. miners. Organizations working in the mining industry are required to comply with the MSHA. And finally, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, which assures safe and healthful working conditions for working men and women by setting and enforcing standards and by providing training, outreach, education, and assistance. Most organizations are covered by OSHA requirements. Those not covered by the OSHA Act include self-employed workers, immediate family members of farm employers, and workers whose hazards are regulated by another federal agency. Resources around the industry impacts to an employee handbook within an organization can be found in the resource section below.